Show me the thing! Welcome back to Featured Fan Builds. I am Captain Xavier, and once again we're going to be looking at awesome builds and submissions and ideas and stuff sent to me by you guys, which is just neat. Now, if you're interested in having your stuff featured, the email address is captain.xavier.fanbuilds@gmail.com. That's the one you should send it to. If you send it to the other ones, it's gonna get lost and never featured, and that would be tragic, and we cannot have that. I'm going to recommend you take really good pictures, work on the lighting, work on the background. If it's cool enough that you are proud enough of it to send it to me, take the time to take a good picture so that it looks good here on the YouTubes for all time. All right, let's get into it. Up first, we have Owen, and Owen has submitted a number of things, and a couple of them are cool enough that I really wanted to show them off. First of all, we have his jank pump action Delta Trooper. And, well, we embrace the jank here in the Pacific Northwest and in Nerf in general. If it's jank and it works, that's all it needs. So I like it. Next one, we have something that was inspired by one of my builds, which was inspired by someone else's build. Kind of a combination of two of my builds. The first is the pump action Kronos with the extended magazine tube. Very cool idea. And then the second is putting an axe on it. And I have a modular axe bayonet kind of thing, and here he's put them both together, and I like it. I don't know if it's for a LARP, or if there's somewhere where he's actually able to use this, or if it was just because it looked cool, but I like it. Up next, we have a Strife with a Recon stock that he has reinforced. I'm not entirely sure how he did it, but I like it. And then he has made a Centurion barrel into a standard barrel attachment. It just friction fits on, but apparently it works. And I think that's neat, because, I mean, why not? Since it's large enough barrel for Mega, it's going to have less barrel drag than probably most Elite barrels, so there's that. I like it. Next, we get into the stuff that I'm all about, modularity. He has a modular tech target eliminator. He's obviously upgraded the spring and has improved the plunger pull system, and then he's rebarreled it for Mega, and then has an adapter that will rechamber it for Elite. So that's really cool. The Tech Target is a really powerful blaster for its size, and so it's a good option for something like this. Now we get into the even more modular one. He has made a modular system for several rival blasters. Rival blasters have really big plunger volumes because rival balls require a lot more energy to get moving because of, I assume, the aerodynamics. And so he's made a series of adapters that work for these two blasters, for both the Kronos and for the Knockout. And he's used a similar concept to the way I do the barrel attachments for Ire, but he's found a simpler and arguably at least a more budget option. Instead of using threaded PVC bushings, which, while not terribly expensive, aren't the cheapest thing, he's instead done it using bottle caps, pop bottle caps, which is brilliant because they're readily available. Most people are just throwing them away, so they're, free if you're already going to be buying the pop. And they are already designed to have an airtight seal. They're threaded and have an airtight seal and are about the right size. So it's just a matter of attaching whatever barrels or whatnot you want onto them. So it's really a very creative solution, in my opinion. I think it's genius, and I like it. And then last of all, we have the, what in the world is this thing called? Where are my notes? Notes are gone. Yeah, I have no notes. Gone. No, gone. It's the Alpha Strike Lines Jolt, but he's put a longer barrel on it for cosmetic reasons, to give it a kind of a suppressor look. I like it. I think it looks neat. All right. Well done, Owen. On to the next contestant. Up next, we have Adam, and Adam has also a number of awesome builds. We will start with this, his slightly blurry but clearly awesomely painted hammer shot that he calls Hammer Time, which is a great name for a hammer shot. It's got a metal kit, 10 kilogram spring, good stuff. Next, we have I believe it is a modified Strife that he calls Electro. Also has good internals, nice paint job. Obviously a modified handle, I like that. Long barrel, stock cap, I like it. Good looking stuff. Next we have his long shot, which apparently doesn't have a name yet, but has been painted black and gold. It looks really cool. It's got obviously some integration stuff going on the front, and I like that. Good looking stuff. Now we get to the really cool one. This is his magazine-fed Vulcan. Yes, you heard me right. Magazine-fed. It has a rapid strike pusher and then a flywheel cage in there. It's running on 3S. Rhino 130s for the flywheels, Neo Rhinos for the flywheels, and then a Valkyrie for the pusher. So thing probably actually performs really, really well, and I really like it. It's a take on the it's a variation of the deplorable, I suppose you could argue. And I just really like how this one looks. I like how the stock that he did on it and just everything about it just is, yeah, I really like this. I may have to do this to one of my Vulcans. We'll see another Vulcan I kind of want to copy coming up as well. Good stuff with Vulcans. See, this is why I'm glad I got as many as I did, but I've got enough. All right, well done, Adam. Who's next? Up next, we have a work in progress by Preston, but I wanted to show it off because it looks really neat. I like the paint job, the blue. That's an interesting shade of teal, I believe it would be. But it's a Maverick with a Nightfinder's top. So it has all the power that you can get into a Nightfinder. You can put K26 on a Nightfinder, whereas the Maverick is reverse plunger and is, pretty much unupgradable. But this is a way you can actually get some power out of it. And I like that because the Maverick is very iconic and deserves more love. And this is a way to give it enough oomph to, I think, be a little more useful. So, well done, Preston. Up next, we have a build by Terence. And it is one of the most magnificent combination integrations, shell bashings I have ever seen. I'm still not entirely sure what all is in here. The core of it is a rapid strike. But then there's a deploy stock, there looks like a demolisher pump, there's a Baron, there's a long shot, there's an Alpha Trooper pump, there's a long shot front gun pump, and there is one of the car launchers. And it has been all cobbled together into a magnificent looking bullpup rapid strike. Here it is, all painted up. And as you can see, it's gorgeous. It's just weird. I've never seen anybody use a car launcher like that. And it just makes for a fantastic, beefy, sci-fi looking bullpup. And I dig it. I also love that it has a master key that fires Mega. That's just neat. It looks like you might also have adapters for firing other types of ammo for it. So it's just really, really cool. Well done, Terence. Up next, we have another just absolutely magnificent concept. This is Dawne, and he has built the Depollo. It is an Apollo in a deploy, which is just cool. It's got a number of you're like, well, I never would have thought of that feature. He's got LED team indicators. Because it's clear, he can have LEDs that easily light up, and so he's got blue LEDs and red LEDs to show which team he's on. He's also replaced the wimpy little LED that's usually in there with an actual proper flashlight, an actual useful one, and so that's just cool. And yeah, it operates using the deploys pump as the prime, and fires. I assume it doesn't have any of its old deploying features, but obviously there had to have been a fair amount of 3D printing done in order to create the structure to hold this in place, because he's managed to get the internals of an Apollo into a deploy, but he used a clear deploy, and it still looks cool. You can see in and see all the internals, and it's not a mess of epoxy and all the stuff you would expect to see in something when you shove the internals of one blaster into another. Usually that kind of integration and kit bashing involves a lot of epoxy and a lot of just stuff that doesn't look pretty. He's managed to make it still look pretty. I mean, look at this thing. It's gorgeous. That is just cool. So well done, Dawne. That is awesome. Next. Up next, we have Nerf Builder, and this is something that he designed. It is a magazine-fed Kronos, and he designed the kit that goes into it. It's obviously not a drop-in thing. There is obviously a fair amount of cutting and all of that, but it is available on Thingiverse. I will have the link to that down in the description. He also has a video of it in action on his YouTube channel. I put that down in the description, and I definitely want to print and try one of these because that's just really cool looking. So, yeah, well done. Nerf Builder, check out his stuff. Next. Up next, we have Suicide Neil and his HPA Sledgefire, and Lord, is it party. Powered using a Specs BZ and then HPA, really no surprise there. It has an extended barrel, which he's then using one of the NF Strike extended long barrel attachment suppressor looking things to protect the barrel, and it just looks gorgeous. It fits together beautifully. And then he has replaced the handle because he felt like it. And he used, of all things, a Tech Recon hammerhead, which many of you may not even know what that is. It's a rubber band gun, a magazine-fed rubber band gun. They fired little rubber bands. It was weird. Nobody uses them anymore because I don't think you can get the ammo. But he found an excellent use for it in putting it on the grip on here. And the integration work on that grip is so well done. It is so smooth and so clean. That kind of finishing work is what makes something like this much better. It's so clean, and I love it. And he's getting about 240 FPS, he says, but he thinks it's definitely needs more tuning, that he could definitely get some more out of that. And that would be a thing to see. Yep. Very, very cool. Well done, Suicide Neil. Very well done. All right, finally, we have AndAWork. And I've featured him before. He had a beautiful build that he had done and had a story behind it for, I believe it was an anti-power armor rifle. And let's talk about the backstory in this one. The M2490 is a 15mm LAAC that can fire AP, HE, WP, incendiary, and power suit armor piercing rounds. Developed from the unsuccessful M337 crude attack cannon, the M2490 takes a more conventional approach without the rocket-assisted rounds or smart targeting and requires only one unit member to operate. The simplified target's acquisition finds, locks, and fires at an object without the need to laser paint it. This had reduced time on target by up to 80%, with an increased first round hit probability. The build details, here's what he has to say. This one was made from the Nerf Vulcan and Nitron and was inspired by Caffeccino on Instagram. I messed up a bit by not transplanting the Nerf workings into the slimmer shell as she did, so it looks a lot more chunky, and thus the change from GPMG to assault cannon. This is the first electric one I've done that actually still works. Also, the build was such that I still have both battery trays, so I'm planning to rewire it for both parallel and series, so it will appear that it has different rates of fire like on real MGs. So we've been just looking at the build. You can see the integration. He's got a Nitron back end on a Vulcan. He's got a Vulcan tripod, but he's turned it into a bipod, and then he's done some cosmetic work on the front end, which is just gorgeous. And that's just looking at here. Now let's take a look at the paint job. God, this guy does beautiful work. Obviously, this is all, for LARP and for cosplay type stuff, so it's extremely realistic. But even then, I really like that back end on a Vulcan. And I have some Nitrons, and I have a lot of Vulcans. This was the other one going, I may do this for my deplorable build rather than using a deploy, and a Maverick. I really like how that looks. Yeah, just everything about it is cool. And that then combined, if you did the magazine fed option, would be pretty awesome. And I'm now pondering, would it be possible to do both? It wouldn't be easy, but I think it might be possible. I might have to look into that. Anyway, yeah, let's keep looking at this guy's paint work because, just all the weathering that he's done and just the detailing, the carry handle, the bipod, the extra barrel shroud, just gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. He does have a video of the build and of it operating. The link will be down in the description, of course, and Caffeccino's Instagram will be also be down there because she does absolutely gorgeous work as well. There's just beautiful stuff on that Instagram. You could scroll through it for hours. So check both of them out. Show them some support. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And cue the montage.